Okay, first up is Jerffer, and yeah, this is a good looking render. The wood texture looks good here on the building, and it's a nice lighting and shadow with the Arnold sky. If you want to get it looking less grainy, you can try playing with the increasing the samples in the Arnold render quality. Um, but yeah, the composition looks good in these shots, and yeah, I think overall, you got it working, so good work on that. This model came out nicely, and the render looks good too. Um, I think the wood texture looks nice on the building, and I like sort of looks like particle board here, which I actually quite like, and it's good that you got these details on here. There's something odd about the interior where it looks like maybe there's a surface where the hole should be, or I don't know if that's looking at that right, but from that angle, that looks like the case. I think the props help out. Lighting looks good. You've got some stretching on here, so you might want to look at how that's been applied. I don't know if you're projecting from the front and therefore it's stretching along the side. I'm guessing that's what's happened, but maybe you want to, if that's the case, maybe you want to select those faces and then project from that side as well. But yeah, came out nicely. Good work. This is Coby, and yeah, another pretty good looking one. It's maybe a little bright where that got overexposed, but it's also okay. I think on the one hand it's nice getting a soft shadow, but on the other hand, I think in like bright direct sunlight the shadow would tend to be kind of not so soft. It'd be kind of hard. I think that while I like the wood texture you've chosen, I think the scale is off where that wood board, I think you have to, for example, you could greatly increase the U in V repeat on the place 2D texture node to get that denser, because it makes it look like a miniature or something. It just doesn't look quite right. So you might try to work on that. Even though it's a good choice of image, I think that the repeat's not good because it looks too big. The scale is off. Okay, good. Maybe a little dark from this angle. It's interesting how much darker the shadow side is than the lit side. I'm wondering if you used the Arnold sky for this or something else. Anyways, yeah, overall looks good. This is Alfred, and yeah, it looks like you've got a ways to go to catch up. And you mentioned you had some problem with application, so just reach out if you need help, and keep moving forward. This is Princeton, and yeah, I think the brick texture came out well. This wood grain on the front of these looks good. However, it seems to be stretching along that surface, unless those are the boards, but it looks kind of stretched and repeated. I'm not really. Maybe it's just because it's repeating so many times. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see from a different angle. I mean, it kind of works okay from this angle. That sort of, if you want to decrease that graininess, you can try increasing the samples. So either it looks stretched or it looks too repetitive. Either way, you might try to make some adjustments to that texture. And yeah, that's a nice composition, so that came out well. You could try sort of rotating the sky around and having the shadow cast in front of the object, and if there's like a shadow on the ground in front, sometimes that looks a little nicer, but it's a good camera angle. So nice work on that. This is Ariana, and while the building seems to have made some progress, this doesn't appear to be a proper render where you put in the Arnold sky and get the lights and shadows and the render and all that going. So I'm not sure if what exactly we're looking at here. Oh, and there's something weird where it's The ground is sort of covering that. I don't know what's going on. And then looks very odd as well. And I noticed that's not your Maya file. So um, uh, so I'm wondering where that's coming from or how that's in there. But the building has improved. I just think you need to get the render working correctly because is there any lights in the scene? Or is this? I don't even know this is a scene that you've. Yeah, there's no lights in here. I don't. So yeah, review the material on rendering, and I think you should resubmit this one.